Hi everybody, welcome to the high school parent coffee morning. Thank you, I hope you are all well and thanks for joining us. I have with us today Miss Feherty. Are you there, Miss Feherty?
Good morning everybody.
Sorry, I couldn't quite see you. You seem to be on either end of the screen on my screen. Yeah, we're just about to. If you can get a little,
we'll move closer.
Get a little bit closer, then we can see both of you. And with Miss Feherty there, you will see is Mr. Cranston, the new deputy head of high school. So welcome to the two of you. Thank you for coming. If you could keep muted during the session, there will be chances to ask questions. Either type them into the chat and we'll try and go through them all, or put your hand up so we can come to you. Okay, so again, my welcome to the first parent coffee morning, of which I know, looking at the plans in high school, there will be many of these opportunities through the year as there was last academic year. Let's move on. Go back to my screen and have a look at, let's get the right one. Yes. Oops, no, that's the primary one. Sorry. Share again.
So, Mr. Ellis, while you're doing that, I want to say a warm welcome to everyone. And this is actually our third coffee morning that we've invited parents to. So if you're a year 7 parent, we had a coffee morning on Monday morning, and for new parents we had a coffee morning on Monday afternoon. So are any of our new parents?
Oh, sorry, I think you're breaking up as far as I can hear.
We have
You're breaking
maybe my
up.
voice sounds like that all the time, Mr. Ellis. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll lead on in terms of today's parent coffee morning. If I could just go through a sort of small agenda. I'm going to just speak, not for very long, but about our major school priorities and themes for this year. And these are the whole school ones. And then I will pass over to Miss Wendy Feherty and Mr. Richard Cranston, who will go through a sort of high school update and update you more on those specifically. And then we'll talk about the new parent support group and how we're going to move forward there. And then there'll be a chance to ask any questions. Can I just ask if you have a question, to either raise the electronic hand in here or put it into the chat, but please can we make questions more general? We're not here to answer questions on specific children. We are available for that, but that's, this is not really the forum for those sort of things. But if you have a more general question, that's great. You'll be able to ask it towards the end. Can I also ask a couple of people to come online? If you could press mute, that would be really useful, so that we don't get too many echoes and misunderstandings, or you have a clear line, I suppose. Okay, so the school priority. Yeah, each year when we get together at the beginning of an academic year, we look at everything that we're planning to do and have a theme for it. This year, when we all met together, we decided our general theme for the whole school is challenge. Challenge is a massive thing in education, and it's something that we really want to demonstrate to our students, that we want to challenge them at every stage. We're going to challenge them by setting challenging targets so that they've got something to aspire to. We're going to challenge them in their behaviors. We're going to challenge them to come out of their comfort zone, which many have been within COVID times and being online, and move outside of their boxes and actually try out new things, challenge themselves to learn new skills. this is sort of a major thing that we're actually looking forward to within our classes and within our pastoral system within the entire school. It's a really important thing also at home, and we'll be talking a little bit more with parents in the coming weeks about how you can challenge your students at home, challenge them to do things that they don't normally do, like tidy their bedroom. I know for some that would be a challenge, but also challenging them about their schooling. You challenge them by asking them what they've done during the day, what have they learned. Challenge them to explain to you what they've learned, because if they can retell and explain, that clearly gives you, or improves their, sorry, say it again, that clearly improves their understanding. So challenge is this big overarching theme that we're having in our school. And as I said, in the coming weeks, you'll hear more about that as parents, and Miss Betty and Mr. Cranston will be pushing more and more of that in the classroom. And you should be able to see that coming back from your students, thinking, yeah, I was really challenged today. I really had to put 100% effort in and more to come out of my comfort zone and try things. Within that, one of the big things I've asked for parent support in, and something that we're looking at very strongly within that idea of challenge, is resilience. If we're going to challenge ourselves in valid ways, we are going to make mistakes. We are not going to get it right all the time. And it's that resilience. I think with challenge has to come that resilience to keep persevering to overcome those challenges. And that's something particularly at home that we can be supportive of the school with our children, but talking to them and trying to engender in them that resilience. Don't try and make it, not everything should be easy to achieve. And I think at home, it's important to also bring that challenge to them. It's also important to support them when they don't achieve it first time, and push them to have another go. That's our main, I suppose, theme. One of our other big themes, which we started last academic year, was sustainability. We've actually appointed Mr. Little, who's a Year 6 teacher, as our sustainability coordinator, and we're definitely going to be looking at how we can make the schools more and more sustainable. Now, there are simple things that we can do. We ask all the students to make sure that they have refillable water bottles. And I do notice that in high school...
Ton, engineer flooring, we have any samples?
Sorry, I might have just come out to mute. Sorry, there's a parent talking on their phone.
Yes, can you...
Let me see if I can mute parents, please. As I said, there will be a chance later on to answer some questions. Oh, everyone's muted again. Thank you. Sorry about that. So yes, sustainability. I would encourage you to make sure your children have sustainable water bottles. I would like to see us into a position where we don't sell any plastic water bottle, throwaway water bottles or single-use water bottles in the school. But to do that, I really need support from parents to ensure that children take their own refillable water bottle to school every day. We're also going to be looking at bringing in some recycling areas and recycling bins around the school to try and ensure that students regularly recycle and make it part of their life and their lifestyle choices. We're also looking at businesses. We brought some businesses last term. We did a little conference with them, demonstrating the way that some businesses are taking on the fight against things like climate change within the UAE. And thankfully to them, a lot of them have been offering us special deals to support our parent body as well. And so I'll be sending more and more of that information in the coming weeks as we move forward. So there are two main things this year: challenge and sustainability. They're the big things that as an overarching theme across the school that we're bringing together. Okay. So that for me, the main high school whole school priorities. And I'm going to pass over to Miss Faherty and Mr. Cranston, who's going to go through the high school updates.
Good morning, everyone again. We've switched to a different device just in case there was an internet issue and you couldn't hear us. So welcome to our third coffee morning. We were delighted to meet all of the new parents and year 7 parents last week. And I think one of the main things that we put forward then really was about parents as partners. And we very much see ourselves as partners with you, facilitating your child's development and learning. Now, Mr. Ellis talked about water bottles and your support with that. And I think one of the things that Mr. Cranston want to ask you about is your support in getting our students ready to learn. You know, that they're in school on time, you are supportive of the homework that they're given, and that they wear the school uniform and have the appropriate kit and materials that they need. But I think that one of the other areas of that is that you keep in touch with us. Very, very much so, and that you open up lines of communication and you tell us how your children are doing, because sometimes you have an insight that we don't in school. So I wanted to start off by introducing the leadership team. So obviously some of you know me a little bit, as I was here from last year. So my name is Wendy Faherty, and I'm the head of high school. I'd like to introduce you to Richard Cranston. Hi. Who is our deputy head. Now, some of you know Mr. White already, if your children were in year 12 and 13, or had him for English. Mr. White is now our Dean of Students. So he is dealing with all of the pastoral care and enrichment opportunities for the students. You know Miss Arif, Miss Noshin, she's been at the school 24 years, I think now, and I think 10 years as DP coordinator. We have Mr. Wellman, who has been here for a number of years, who is now the MYP coordinator. We have Miss Weeks, who is our assistant MYP coordinator, who will be looking after years 7 to 9. And obviously Mr. Wissam, who is our career-related coordinator. Now, it's really important that if you have any issues, or if you want to chat, or if you want to find more about what we're doing in school, please do feel free to contact any of us at any time. We really do view you as partners in our jobs, as, you know, engaging and helping our young people to thrive very much. So please do contact us. Mr. Ellis, could you move to the next slide? Thank you. So I think for all of us, our core values and what we're moving forward with this year, we really do have our children at the heart of everything that we do. Mr. Cranston has his 2 youngsters here at high school with us. And I think that's very important, that anything that we do, please be assured that is all about having our children's best interests at heart. Mr. Ellis, could you press the button again, please? Could you just take it all the way around?
I'm just trying to actually do that, but it doesn't seem to want to work with me. Just hold on a second and I'll see if I can do it a different way. There we go. That's probably better.
Thank you. That's fantastic. So there's a number of areas that we are continuing to work on, and some that we are moving forward with more specifically. Challenge is certainly something that the whole school is working with, and we are working with particularly in high school. We are wanting to challenge the students academically, pastorally, but also around enrichment. So we have a number of areas that we're being able to start this year. We've got 2 high school productions, one in November and one in term 2 this year. We have, okay, so I'm not muted, so apologies.
No, we can hear you well.
We can hear, thank you very much for that, thank you. We have international trips, and information will be coming out with those. We will be starting off our Duke of Edinburgh again. We will have a wide range of after school clubs. So we are really challenging on that enrichment side as well. And we are just about to launch an EISJ Head of High School Challenge, where we're looking at the learner profiles and attitudes to learning. So it's academic, pastoral and enrichment. I'm going to pass over to Mr. Cranston, who would want to talk about academic challenge.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So you'll see on the slide, one of the most important aspects for me coming into the school is twofold. The first one is creating high expectations for all. And for me, that's something I'm very passionate about. And that's high expectations, not only of our young people within the school and setting high expectations for them to achieve, which will involve a series of challenges in the classroom and outside the classroom, but also high expectations of our colleagues and staff as well, to ensure that we meet the expectations for all learners. It's very important to me that we have those high expectations personified throughout the school. This will lead on to creating a mindset which we want to ensure, which is these aspirational targets for everyone. For me, it's really, really important, if we're trying to have an outstanding teaching and learning environment, that we create a situation that all our young people have aspirations with what they want to achieve and where they want to grow within the school. Then each year, from year 7 right the way through, they should be growing not only in terms of academically, but also personally as well, as a whole young person, again through the IB learner profile, and really embracing the IB philosophy as we move throughout the school, and they have high expectations that they're trying to make the next stage. This leads on to something that I'm genuinely passionate about, which is the area of creating an environment of outstanding teaching and learning. It's vitally important for us to ensure we have the aspirations on our young people, that the teaching and learning is outstanding at all times. And that's our aspiration as a high school, and that's what we want to achieve across the board. Already we're creating some new initiatives within the school, and some aspects we'll be sharing with parents over the coming weeks. Already I'm starting to initiate a programme of a mindset for achievement amongst our young people, but also within our staff as well, where we're trying to create a professional learning community where our staff members are also learning, are also personifying that IB learner profile of wanting to improve and pushing themselves out of their comfort zone to ensure we create an environment where everyone can achieve and create those high aspirational learning.
Thank you, Mr. Cranston. So the next slide we put together just so that you could understand a little bit about our pastoral care. Very, very much so, if students don't feel happy and safe and secure, it's more difficult for them to learn and to meet those aspirational targets. So just so that you know, I know that we talked about this on Monday when the new parents come in. It's very, very much a supportive system. So your students all have form tutors who see the students 4 mornings a week. And this year we have a new programme rolling out in the form tutor sessions. On Monday we have Mindful Mondays, and that is based around guided reading. One of the things that we really want to do this year is raise the reading ages, raise the literacy, because the higher the reading ages of our students, the higher they achieve, especially when we're getting on to DP and CP. So Monday will be a guided reading programme for our students, and we'll be able to track what our students are reading and what levels they're reading. And we're really encouraging you as parents to get your children to read at home as well. Even if you read together, or if you ask them about what they're reading in school, that really shows your children that you're interested in reading. And once parents and students start reading together, it becomes part of what you do. On a Tuesday, we're doing Take Care Tuesday, where every student will be involved in a community project. Now that will link in when they get to year 10 and 11 to services action. And then when they get to year 12 and 13, it links in with the CAS programme that they have to do to get the full diploma. On a Wednesday, we're continuing on with our Wellbeing Wednesdays. So we're trying to give our students the skills and the techniques to be able to look after their own well-being independently. And Dr. Rose and the pastoral team are all involved with that, because obviously ourselves and our students, we've had a difficult few years. And I think it's very, very important that we continue giving our students the skills and the strengths to be able to deal with that. On a Thursday, excuse me, it's Thinking Thursday. And what we're really going to do there is give the students the knowledge and understanding about how to learn, how they learn best, how to study, how to take notes, how to get yourself organised. So we'll be working in partnership a little bit with you, because that's what parents do, a little bit, try to get their students to be organised. I never made it with my teenager, but we are there to help with that as well. So Form Tutor Group is a very, very important time for our students to be doing that. Obviously, we also have Moral, Social, Cultural Studies, which is part of the programme of the UE, and there is a lot of social care and guidance within that. Yeah. And I'm going to pass over to Mr. Cranston, who's going to talk a little bit about how we inspire and enable all of our students. Yeah. Mr. Ellis, could you possibly go to the next slide? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So, yes, the last element that we really want to look at this morning reiterates what I've been saying previously. But as a school, we just show you to the cycle that I have on the screen. And essentially, that's what I want to reiterate. For us in school and in high school, it's that cycle of learning. Year on year, from year 7 right the way through to year 13, we want to develop and instill a holistic education where we teach and develop your child as a whole. So that forms 4 different parts for us. One level is this idea of communication, which is really, really important. Ms. Ferrier has mentioned previously, between our parent community and as well as ourselves as educators and teachers across the school. And it's so important that we do work together within that to try and push towards the common goal. Then, as I mentioned before, teaching and learning is also integral, but also you'll see then within the circle the idea of the curriculum. Our curriculum is vital, and what we believe sets the platform on each year to encourage your child to learn, to grow, to develop, to enable them to become and develop as IB learners as they move on throughout the school. And finally, within that cycle, you'll see the idea of thriving children, because essentially that's what we want. We want all our young people to thrive, to be the best version of themselves and be the best they can be within the school. Now, you'll see the title of this last slide is the idea of inspire and enable all pupils. And that's essentially what our cycle of learning is all about. It's about inspiring and enabling every single pupil to be the best version of themselves so they can achieve not only academically, but also grow and develop within the IB curriculum itself. And it's really important that you understand we look at each and every one of our pupils as an individual and look upon them as individual learners to get the best out of them as an individual. So just to finish up, just 3 or 4 little points just to reiterate where we are this year and really what we're trying to push going forward. First of all, we want to create this idea of aspiration to aspire higher. This will be done by raising achievements and standards for all. As I said, we want every single child in the school, in every single year group, in every single class to develop academically and personally and to achieve. Also to enable more, support all learners through high quality learning and teaching, care, guidance and support to enable them to develop. And what I mean by that is we are partners in this learning journey. Teachers play a role, but learners themselves, our young people, have to take responsibility within the IB learner profile to develop as a learner also. Now, we will be developing those skills and attributes through the lessons themselves and other extracurricular activities, but it's really something that's really vital for me and for us as a school, that students begin to become enabled to take part within their own learning. Also, to expect better. This will lead to excellence. Excellence is what we want to see in everything that we do, not only in our classroom, but also in the quality work that's being produced by our young people. But everything that we do as a school is to expect better of ourselves, of our young people, which will in turn lead to a culture of excellence for all. And finally, and this is one element I really want to put across, is this idea where it's never just one thing. Collaboration with ourselves and our parents as partners is vital. And we have this initiative towards a common goal, which is what is the best for your child, for our young people and our school community. So please remember, it's never just one thing. It's never just one area. It's all of these areas together where we're continuing the cycle of learning, this journey of growth and development from year 7 throughout the school to essentially inspire and enable all our pupils to be the best version of themselves, which will ultimately mean they will achieve academically and be able to develop the skills that will take them to the next stage of their education as well.
Okay, thank you. So we've kept our presentation short because I think this is really important for you to be able to ask questions as parents as us. This is what we would do if you had come in to the building to have a cup of coffee with us. I hope you actually all have a cup of coffee. So if you don't mind, we will just have a look at some of the questions that we have and see what we can have a look at. So one of the parents has asked around the 50-minute classes that we've obviously had to, all schools in Dubai have obviously had to change their timetable in some way, shape or form, because in Dubai now we only have a half day realistically on a Friday. And as an IB school, we have certain number of hours that we have to do to be able to meet the requirements of the IB, in particular at the diploma and career related programs. Now, we did a lot of research. I researched a lot around the optimum timings for a class, and 50 minutes for our school was the best that we could do. Now, part of it is that students, especially younger ones, have to get organised at night to only bring in the books that they need. We also have lockers that students will be able to use from now on. We couldn't use the lockers before when we had COVID because of the distancing. And whilst we are still keeping 1 metre social distancing, we will be able to manage the lockers. So if students want to use the lockers, but with that comes a responsibility to make sure at the end of breaks that they have the equipment that they need to go to the next class. So for the younger ones, there's a little bit of learning within that. There is no rush from class to class. As you know, teenagers tend to have 2 speeds, slow and slower, if you let them. So we're encouraging our students to walk at a normal pace that we would consider for an adult, going from space to space, not dawdling along, checking their, chatting with their mates about what they're doing at the weekend. So we want to not encourage that. We want them to be focused in getting to the next learning session. I personally don't want to have to be, looking at extending the school day for us. Okay, let me just, if I go through, can you tell us a little bit more about the Edinburgh Programme? Yeah, Duke of Edinburgh is an amazing programme for young people that was created by the Duke of Edinburgh in England many, many years ago. I remember doing it when I was a teenager, which is more years than I wish to remember. And our students are able to do that through what they call is the International Award. and they do a number of activities around that. It's very student and independent led in some areas, and there are 3 levels to it. There's bronze, there's silver, and there's gold. Now, we haven't been able to do it for 3 years, obviously, because of COVID, so we will be starting it this term, along with after school activities, which should be starting in week 3, to enable that programme. It's a very good programme to help build resilience, to help build character values. It's not easy. Some of our students, especially our younger students, find the physical activity element of it a little bit difficult, but it's good to challenge, and it's part of that challenging themselves. Did you do Duke of Edinburgh, Mr. Cranston?
We did Duke of Edinburgh. It's a wonderful programme, and then again, a lot of the skills and attributes that they use within the IB learner profile really is reflected in the Duke of Edinburgh programme itself and the International Award programme. It can be quite physically demanding at times. However, there's a rationale behind that. And again, if it was as easy and straightforward, everybody would be doing it. So that's the reason why not only a select few pupils do choose. And also, if you do move on to the International Gold Award, be aware that if you're applying to university in the UK and other universities in the world, the actual Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award and International Award can actually count as UCAS points or entrance points for the universities as well, on top of your IB results. So that's something else to have added value as well.
Very much so, thank you for that. We will make sure that information goes out about the ASAs at the beginning of next week. We've got another question. Please, can you tell me about the number of projects each student has to do individually in a group? Is that Dipali? I'm not sure what programme your child's in, Dipali, if it's year 7 to 9 or 10 to 11 or 12 to 13. And I think you possibly mean the IDUs. So very much a part of IB is about learning together as well as learning individually. A big skill that employers have wanted, thank you, my child's in year 11. A big part of what employers have asked of universities and schools over the last 20 years has been that idea that students can collaborate and their young people can work together and be team players and look across different projects and look across different goals. And that's one of the big selling points of the IB, that it's very much some of those skills that we work with within the IB. Now, from this year on, from year 7 all the way through, we have got a series of mini projects depending on what year your child is in, and they will look at different cross-curricular projects, interdisciplinary units as they're now called with NYP, so that they start building up those skills very, very quickly to get into year 11. Now, year 11, the interdisciplinary units, we will have a number of units throughout the year where students are able to practice their skills, and then they have one interdisciplinary unit which is actually graded by NYP. Dipali, I hope that answers your question. If not, just answer in chat. Judith, hello Judith, how are you? Absolutely no problem. Please ask as many questions as you need. That's what we're here for today. High school use ManageBack for all of our communication and also for any assessments and activities. That is our version of Seesaw in high school. ManageBack has a lot of extras that Seesaw doesn't have for us, so we can, when students get to DP, we can use Turnitin, which is a programme which checks for academic honesty and plagiarism, and we can use that through ManageBack. So that's why we use ManageBack rather than Seesaw. It offers us a lot more adaptability and a lot more things that we can do with it for our older students. Judith, please just keep asking the questions. Galaxy tab. Will the school be selecting which child will qualify? Absolutely not. Students choose themselves if they want to do the Duke of Edinburgh International Award Programme. It's a very, in some respects, involved programme, and children have to really want to do it, you know, because their resilience and their challenge is tested. So they really have to want to be part of that programme. So I think that's very important that they choose and we don't select. Never not select a student to do an after-school club if we can. I think that's very important. If a student has a passion for something, or if a student really wants to get involved in something, we would open it up for them and then let them do it. Yeah, hope that answers your question. Judith, you're more than welcome. Oh, thank you.
There's a question. Is there a question there about which grade it's Duke of Edinburgh? Did you cover that? For the
no, we haven't.
program? It's a year 9, 14, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it's sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't cover that. And gold works through when they get to gold, they are 17 and 18.
Yeah. Great program. I used to run one at a different school, and it is a fantastic program. Really does teach your children some independence. I know one of the activities, for example, we used to do when I worked in Sharjah was we used to have to send the children to a supermarket to buy dinner for themselves. And they always came back with very interesting items. I think a number of children sort of believe that they can live off chocolate, chips and fizzy drinks. So,
absolutely,
you want to sort of help them along, take them to the supermarket with you, although probably you order online like most people do. But, they really don't seem to understand what goes into actually keeping them alive. Is one of the things. There was a couple of hands up in here. Was that Sarah Kapoor? A hand up? Do you like to answer the question, or if it's not been covered?
Yep.
Hi,
Well, hi. I have 3 questions. First is that is there a canteen for high school students? And second question is that the lockers, like my child like really carry heavy backpacks, and I was like, why can't you just put them in your lockers? But she told me she doesn't have yet. So how is that? Are you guys going to guide or tell the students that they have their specific lockers, or how is that going to be? Because even up till today, she is, carrying heavy backpacks. And the third one is that they emails or communication. So are you guys just sending once a week? Because this is the first time I receive an email from you guys, and this is my first time attending the Zoom meeting. So I'm not sure.
Hi. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, we do have a cafeteria. It's very well-loved and busy cafeteria. Students buy a card like this, so it's cash-free, and we've been giving students, any students who are interested, we've been giving them the application form, and you can top up online, or they can top up the card with cash. We have 2 menus in the cafeteria. We have the same menu every day, which is cold drinks, salads, fruits, sandwiches, with some za'atar bread and a quiche. And then we have a hot menu, which changes every day, which is a starter and a main course. And I have to say, so far, the chicken biryani seems to be the winner. I think they ran out of chicken biryani as soon as it went on. It's very popular. So we do have a cafeteria. We do encourage students to eat healthily. And you can choose whether your child uses the cafeteria and buys food or brings in their own food themselves. We have members of staff in the cafeteria to make sure it all goes well. Backpacks. Backpacks. Previously, we haven't been able to use our lockers obviously with COVID, because it was, you know, the 2 meters distancing, it was impossible to do. But we have our lockers now, and we will start to roll those out next week. So students should bring a little lock. Most of them use a little combination lock, and they get their lockers and they can put their bags in the locker and lock it with a combination lock. But we have to be very careful with it, because we still have to have a meter distancing. You know, we still have to wear masks. We have to be very careful that we keep the children safe. So we have to do it in a very rolled out and sensible kind of process. And your third question is around email. Emails come directly from ManageBack. There is a newsletter that goes out every week for each year group, which has information and tips, some photographs, and it tells you what's happening the week ahead for the academics. Individual teachers will email you as and when appropriate, depending on the subject and what is happening. Yeah. Does that answer your questions? Yeah. Okay. We have some.
I raised my hand, so can I?
Lena. Yep, sorry, Mr.
Yes.
Lena.
Hello. Hi. Good to see you. Thank you very much for doing this. This is very informative and very useful. Thank you. So, as a parent of a new student, I mean, if you ask me to characterize the first week in one word, it's overwhelming, in any respect. My question is whether you're planning to maybe arrange one-to-one sessions with the new students, because it would definitely be helpful. It's starting from the questions on the uniform to the cards, to the use of card in the canteen, to finding your classrooms. So everything is new. So it would be very, very helpful if you could maybe please spend some time with the new students. That's my first question. And second, what would be the best time to come and see you? Because as a new parent, obviously, I need it too. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we've had the 2 coffee morning sessions with the new parents, which I'm not sure if you joined us or not, and we went through all of those elements around uniform, etc., etc. We like to have the new students have a week to settle in and find their feet. We do it in 2 ways. Our form tutors and the heads of year get the new students together and meet them and find out how they're going. We tend to do that at the beginning of the 2nd week. Because you need a kind of week to get your feet. We also do a whole school student survey in the 2nd week, just so that we can pick up any students who maybe need a little bit of support. Your new students and normal students have a form tutor that they see every morning, apart from a Friday where we don't have the tutor time. So we ask the form tutors just to keep an eye in particular on new students. And I think for everybody who starts a new job or a new school, it's overwhelming, isn't it? It's exhausting. I think all of our new staff went home on Monday night and went to bed about 7:30. I think I made it till about 8 o'clock. So it is overwhelming, but please don't worry, we do touch base with the new students in particular. Even during the morning, Richard and I are at the gate, and we particularly try and pick up the new students just to check how things are going. We're at the school gate at the end of the day. During break and lunch, all of the leadership team, along with the pastoral team, we call it patrolling, but what we're really doing is we're looking for those new students that we think aren't settling. And I have to say, we've had very few this year. When you look around, they're chatting with people they're getting to know. The boys are all out playing football. I don't know how they can do it in this weather. So, it's not just about that formal checking in on them. It's, keeping a really close eye to see if we can if there's anybody who needs a bit of support. If you want to come and see me or Richard or Robert, who's our pastoral lead, who's our Dean of Students, you're absolutely welcome. The best thing to do is either phone just the school or to email us individually. All our email details are on the parent information booklet, and we'll arrange for you to come in. We will have more coffee mornings. We're trying to do more face-to-face coffee mornings, but we obviously want to be available to the parents who can't come in during the school day. Now, all of that information is going out so that you know when they will all be. But if you have particular worries, particular concerns, you want to speak to any of us, just email, of course, or call. And if we're available, we'll speak to you straight away. But if not, we'll give you a phone call back. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Nice to meet you again.
Thank you. And that's really important. It's very important that you are aware that we are here and that we are available.
Yeah.
You know, we've worked really hard to make sure that we get in contact with, you know, preferably within the actual same day of the contact. You know, and that's really important because we want to address issues as fast as possible. So do always feel free to contact us.
Oh, absolutely. I did forget to say, Mr. Ellis, before you jump in, every student is assigned a buddy within the school to make sure that they get from place to place. And what we say to the buddies are, you know, you don't have to be best friends in the end, but your job in the next 2 weeks is to make sure that your buddy is okay, the new student is okay. And you generally tend to find that they do become good friends in the end, which is quite lovely. So there are buddies involved. And we also, sorry, Mr. Ellis.
Yep, no, go ahead.
You will learn, once I start talking, I can't stop. I'm very Scottish. We have senior student leaders who are also showing the new students, especially year 7 in particular, around, and they are available all around break and lunchtime, as well as helping students get to class. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I can see Miss Deepa has a hand up, but I just want to move on just quickly because we're running out of time.
Oh, no.
I know it's been really, really good. And, you know, as I said, if there are queries, just email in. We're actually going to put on the school website a big sort of contact list, which will help you determine who's the best contact for the question that you have. But if there is an issue, either email me or email Miss Fetty or email Mr. Cranston as soon as, you know, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible or put you onto the right person that can support you.
Absolutely, please. There's another week. Sorry, Mr. Ellis, I know we're nearly at the end. The question about going to get uniforms.
Yeah, before we get to, I just want to just move on a little bit, and then we'll come back to the last few questions.
Sorry.
One of the things, and this might sort of fit into some of the bits that we've been talking about today, is we are going to be reintroducing the parent support group or parent association. I'm going to put together a meeting next week with our new marketing person, Miss Victoria, and a previous leader in the parent association. We are really, really keen, and I think Miss Fairty mentioned about the school partnership. You know, this is part of that. You know, we really want to get you involved in the life of the school. You know, not just with things like you know, National Day and International Day, which is traditional things, but also, you know, to act as a little bit of a focus group for us, you know, and to feedback if you feel that there's something which we need to improve or something that we're doing really well, that you give us that feedback on a regular basis. So I just wanted to put that in there because I think it's really important that the parent support group and, you know, creating those partnerships between everybody. So I'll just go through and I'll just put together, I know that the uniform. Miss Petty, do you know, can the students go across and get their uniforms themselves?
They can't during the school day, but at the end of the day, it's okay for them to pop over. We will take them over at the school day. We keep the gates closed between primary and high school, obviously mostly for the safety of the primary students, but at the end of the school day, we should be able to pop over and get it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Ms. Deepa, you've got your hand up, the electronic hand up.
Yeah, I'd just like to answer the parent who was just expressing being overwhelmed. Being a parent in the school for almost a decade now, I can totally relate to what new parents feel. Being an old parent, I can surely ensure that the school does everything possible to make the child feel totally comfortable. It is difficult, and as Mr. Wendy said, it takes a week to find their feet. But the school, the teachers, the peers, they're wonderful, and your children will soon find their feet and feel comfortable. At home, I think you can be, reassure them that it's only a matter of time till they are comfortable in school.
Thank you for your kind words. And again, it's one of the actual areas we've put in for our new parent support group, parent association, of actually looking at how we can support our new parents better and create links between existing parents and new parents. We can help you settle in that much better. Because I know for a number of new parents as well, they've just arrived in Dubai. So it's not only getting their children to school, but it's also organising themselves in a brand new country and maybe even a brand new position. So we understand there's a lot going on. But as we keep saying in this, I don't think we can say it too often, is contact us. Let us know the concern, and we will do our best. And there are lots and lots. I'm looking at the calendar, and there's lots and lots of opportunities to come in. One of the next biggest ones, I think, for many of our new parents will be around about the 13th of September, which is an introduction to the MYP programme. But there's also coffee mornings for year 10 and 11 parents on the 7th. On the 8th, there's a DP and CP programme parent coffee morning with the form teachers. And the 15th, there's the year 8 meet the form teacher as well. So you can see there's a number of events that will be coming up, and you'll be alerted to those in plenty of time. So there'll be lots more opportunities to come into school and meet, and also we'll try and replicate something online for those of you that can't physically join us. Okay. There's one more. I think there's one more comment. Thank you. Oh, yep. Thank you. Well, I'm going to end the session there. I have recorded. Well, we have as a school recorded it, so we will release it online. Before I end, I can see Miss Fetty having a slight fit with her hand and desperately want to say something. So, Miss Fetty.
So, thank you, Ms. Ellis. Just a quick reminder, next week we have our Cyber Safety Week, which is very important for both us and the students and yourself to be part of. And we have a coffee parent morning on Tuesday at 8:30. Please come in and meet myself and Richard and Rob, and we're going to talk about how we can help you support at home around cyber safety. We have our Meet the Form Tutor Teacher for year 10s and 11s on Wednesday morning at 8:15, and the Meet the Form Teacher year 12 and 13 at 8:15. So I just wanted to make sure we got that out there before I went. Thank you, Mr. Ellis. You're muted.
I'll do one last question. Sorry, I keep busy muting everybody else and I forget to unmute myself. Miss Vanitha, I think we got one more question.
Yes, sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this. We did come for the introduction to meet the form teachers on the other day, and we did see part of this presentation. Yes. However, if the coffee morning or whenever we come in physically, and if it is going to be available online later, or if it's going to be something of the same information, if you can share that also with us, because with our schedule, we're trying our level best to be there actively involved in our child's progress. So since I came there already, few things I felt it's the same which was happening before, so then it'll be easier for us to share also with other mothers, and if we miss something, then we'll say okay, come, it's very informative, meet it. So just a small information.
What we're trying to do,
my mind here, sorry, Miss Fetty, what's going through my mind here is how we can actually do a joint sort of face-to-face and Zoom session. How can we do the presentation at the same time and have that live? But what we will be doing, like this session, is we record the session and we'll post it onto YouTube, and we'll post the link out to you. So we don't want you to miss. It's a bit like those, I got really into podcasting, very excited about podcasting last academic year, and we're going to continue podcasting. Yeah. I'm going to continue podcasting. And again, that's all online and it's downloadable. And in fact, if I do a plug for our podcasting, it's even available on Spotify and Amazon Music now. So you can listen to it as you go for a run or do some exercise or need to get some sleep. One or the other. I'm sure it's useful for one of those things. Okay. All right. But thank you. Thank you for the lovely messages in the chat thanking us. It's been really good to meet you. We really hope to get this, fantastic hybrid of meeting people in person but still being able to meet online when it fits other people's schedules. So thank you. And I will post this online, as we said, and we'll get out the links for you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.